Alright, good evening everyone. My name is Surtur from Slytherin and I'll be your host for tonight as we'll be taking a look at Alea Jacta Est, the game by Ajot and CET, and just released on Steam and discounted at the moment as well. So we're just gonna run you through the basics of the game and show you what it's all about and what makes the game so great. If you have any comments during the stream itself about sound levels or whatever, please don't hesitate to mention. I'll adjust them on the fly. And in a minute we're gonna get started. For now, I'd also like to welcome joining us from the chat is Philippe Thibault. He is from Ajot itself, one of the minds behind the Age engine, and no one knows the Ajot games better than he. So we're very happy to have him over. He'll be here to answer any of your questions you might have while watching the stream. Just in time, Munchies, welcome, glad to have you aboard. So, currently we're looking at the main menu of the game, Alea Jacta Est, and we're gonna start a new game, and again, like I said, we're gonna take you through the basics and show you that while this game might look like it's difficult to learn, it's fairly easy to get into, and it's a lot of fun when you're actually there. So we're gonna start a new game, like here, right here, and here we're gonna see the scenarios. I should mention that here at the version we have the two DLCs. We're playing the Steam version here. The two DLCs, the Spartacus Revolt and the Cantabrian Wars, are installed here as well. If you only buy the base game, you won't see these. What we're doing tonight won't replace the tutorial, so if you just started the series, please launch that. Please also grab the manual with it, for it will greatly enhance your knowledge of the game, and while you can play without it, it gets a lot more fun when you really dig into the details. Tonight, however, we're gonna play a game from the one of the DLCs, the Cantabrian Wars. And this is a long game, so we're not going to be able to finish it tonight, unfortunately. But on the other hand, it is a game that takes place on a limited geographical area, namely Spain. So it's very good to showcase different features without getting immediately overwhelmed by the sheer skill of what this game can offer if you want to. I mean, we're going to see that in a second. The map is really huge if you want to have it like that. So we're going to start a new game. And we're going to call this Twitch, and we're going to validate. Is this a new game? Asked Crash. No, this is an older game, although it just got re-released on Steam. So it was created in 2012. It's still getting updates though, and it's still getting proper support, of course. And so it is new on Steam, yes. We're gonna play as Rome. If you're asking the Cantabri, who are they? They're Spanish tribes. We're gonna look into detail in a minute. So this is what you will see when you start a new scenario. You will be looking at the map. You'll have an introductory text to your left, and you have the basic interface all around. In this case, this is the Cantabrian Wars, and it's more or less the final stage of the what could be called the series of Spanish Wars. Or the Roman conquest of the Iberian Peninsula. As you might know or not, that took over 200 years, was a great series of conflicts, and just a really stark contrast with the one in Gaul, for example, where Caesar managed to conquer that in its entirety relatively quickly, except of course for that one tiny small village. So here we have our introductory text about the Cantabrian Wars. We have a period of 10 years, and Emperor Augustus wishes to complete the conquest of the Iberian Peninsula by annexing the north, which in this case is this. So we're going to do that. Fierce resistance by the different tribes. They of course want to retain their independence, and they will cooperate in order to face me. So in order to give you a better overview of what it looks like, I'm going to set the military control map filter, and from here we're going to see what regions we control in this scenario, which is everything in red, and what the Iberian tribes or the Cantabrians are controlling. It is our job to push through these villages, take these settlements, or destroy them where possible. Let me just zoom out here for a second and show you what are the theaters you might be fighting if you buy the game. We have the entire map loaded here, and all based on different regions. So depending on the scenario you play, you will see cities appear in these regions. You'll be able to fight for them, conquer them, or defend them, etc. I think it's over 2,800 regions, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of detail, a lot of room to maneuver, and all is of course based on historical terrain, and even the weather system is simulated based on historical data. So let's try and take a look at one of our armies here to give you a basic understanding of how these are consisted. Here we see the portrait of a general, and this portrait represents a stack of units. So when we click on it, we're going to see that this is the Tarraconensis Manus, and it is led by Statilius. Forgive me for my Latin pronunciation. And it contains all the units you see here. So in this case, it contains the general, which is 2-star general. We have 1 legion. We have auxiliary troops. We have 2 different cavalry, German and Roman cavalry, and we have some African archers. In support, we also have a number of supply wagons, which are vital in order to fight campaigns that are longer or far away from civilized areas. Right, so all these units again are also built up out of elements, and when we click on one of them, you can see at the bottom right what kind of elements these units consist of. And it is these units, these elements, that will do the basic fighting. When we click on one of these elements, we're going to get a detailed screen with all the ratings, so the offensive fire, defensive fire, everything that makes this unit behave as it does. And this particular one consists of 600 men. Right, we also have an army to the other end of Spain, or in this case Portugal, at the very least the Iberian Peninsula, and with another legion, 2 auxiliary units, and a regiment of horse with some Roman cavalry. These will be our main units as we're going to try and push into this. Green Mushroom 23, can you so pike and shot sometime soon? We've actually did pike and shot some weeks before. You will still find it if you browse the highlights of our Twitch channel. Also, you'll be able to find it on YouTube as well. So let's continue then our conquest of the Iberian Peninsula. As you can see here, we all have cities, and these cities are all protected. There's garrisons inside them. As you can see, there's a lock above it that these garrisons are locked, so I can't move them out, I can't use them much away in combat. As you can see here, the Iberian tribes are in different colors, and that means there are different tribes, different, well, you would say nationalities, even though it's a bit of a troublesome concept for this age. But they will be united against me, so for me they're all enemies. I'd probably be easiest to try and take them out one by one though. So let's start by planning our movements. Here we have again our main army, which is the strongest army we have. It has a power of 717, and for those interested, it has over 13,000 men in it, about 3,000 horses, and some extra support vehicles. And setting up movement is very easily done in this game. It's a matter of drag and drop. So I can drag, I click on the unit, I drag it over the region, and it will move there. And it will tell me it will take 4 days to move there. So if I want to move it, say, immediately to the enemy army, it will automatically calculate the fastest way to get there, or I can set my own waypoints to get there if I want to attack it from a completely different direction. In this case, I know that if I threaten one of their major cities immediately, it will spark a response by them. One question by Crash: what's the max army size? As far as I know, it's basically unlimited, although stacking armies in huge groups is not at all handy, as it is not all the units will be able to actually engage in combat due to the limits of frontage. It's a hell for supplies, and of course it's a hell to have enough proper commanders to lead them. So you can make them as big as you want, but it's highly ineffective to do so. It's one of those reasons where you can see that this system is doing a very good job at simulating historical warfare. So I'm going to move these to this city here, where they will be closer to the front line, but still in a city, still protected from wear and tear, and still have a supply base close by. And at the same time, I'm going to move this unit to that city as well, and I will try and take out one of their smaller settlements first. As you can see, this one's going to take 39 days, which is a lot longer than in this case for this army, which takes 16 days. One of the reasons is the activation. This leader is active at the moment. This one has filled its activity check for the turn, as you can see by the brown envelope. So it's not responsive or unresponsive, or not as responsive as could be to my orders. That's why it responds slower, and it will take it longer to get there. Not only are we going to move our armies to the front line, the game also allows you to recruit new armies. So we're going to look into that now. By clicking on the eagle, we're going to get into recruitment mode. And these are the armies we are currently able to recruit, or the units, I must say. Depending on if you want to play with extended army pools, you can get more ahistorical results. I've set the historical army pools here, so I can only recruit what was available to the commanders at the time. As you can see, I cannot recruit all units in all regions. The one that light up green will be able are places where I can recruit them. For example, here the Equites Gallia can only be recruited in provinces in Gaul, whereas the Hispania Equites can be recruited in all major cities in Spain. Special case here on the Funditores from the Balearic Slingers, famous for their skill and talent, which can only be recruited here at the Balearic Islands. I'm going to want a couple of them, so I'm going to recruit them, and I'm just going to drag and drop again them to the region where I want to recruit them. Also, we're going to need something to transport them to the mainland. So we're also going to recruit one of the naval, group of transport ships. And again, I'm just going to drag and drop them into where I want them. Next, on the mainland, I'm going to need some reinforcements at some point. So I'm going to recruit some Equites, which hopefully we can use to do some raiding or some scouting behind enemy lines. And some auxilia. Unfortunately, I'm not able to recruit new legions here. All of this, of course, costs money. As we can see in the top left, I am losing money at the moment because I'm recruiting units. Money is gained by, in this case, by merchant ships. I have merchant ships in these naval shipping boxes, and every turn they provide me with some money. Right, so I'm going to exit recruitment mode now, and if I go into the F2 screen, or the recruitment and replacement screen, we're going to see all the units we have recruited and the time when they will be finished. So the Balearic Slingers, or the Funditores, will be ready in 1 turn, whereas the ship and the auxilia units will be finished in 2 turns, and the cavalry takes